So, as introduced, my name is Edmund Khoaseb, the bearded speaker. And I'm the author of the Alignment Journal. I think some of you might be in possession of the Alignment Journal. It's my first book that we published earlier this year, I think on the 1st of April, which is also my wedding anniversary date. So I can't forget that. Apart from that, we are planning on launching or publishing a second book still this year. And we are really pushing on with trying to ensure purposeful living amongst people, especially those of our background and those of our color, right? That we just don't go through life be just living and then going to work and coming back, and that's it. We're trying to see if we can get young people to identify their purpose in life and then leading a purposeful life. And that's where I really come strongly, offering coaching, mentoring, training to just work on that. So when I got this information, I went straight to your website. I must say your website is very beautiful. It really looks good. It's always good when an organization has a professional looking website, and I really appreciate the what do you call it, the look and feel that you guys are going for, and the brand identity that you are having there. I also joined, I think, one or two, or went to check one or two of your YouTube videos that you had, and it seems you are doing some good work. So I am quite excited to be with you for these 2 days, 1 hour each, but then also to see what other interventions we can work on together going forward. So for the 2 sessions, what we are basically going to cover is elements from the Alignment Journal. First of all, we are going to try and discover our core values and then understand how they shape our decision making. That's the foundation of it. We will also look a bit of at our limiting beliefs. So those 2 we will do today, and then tomorrow we'll do the 2-hour principle. We'll do intentionality and self-care, and then authentic leadership and the rural impact of it. So that's what we're going to cover during the sessions that we'll have over the next 2 days. And unfortunately, because I'm a coach, it will not be one of those sessions where I speak and you are just there absorbing information. If you want to mop, as they say, mop information from myself, you would need to get closer. But during these sessions, it will be very much interactive. I would like us to then speak to each other when questions are posed and so forth. So for this session, as I said, we are going to look at our core values, identifying them, as well as distinguishing them from our wants. And then we will look at, as I said, we'll try and identify some of our limiting beliefs and how they lead to self-sabotage. And we'll explore some values that are driven in leadership, communication, trust, and influence. So just as a starter, I think we should be...
Yeah.
So what I want us to do, I want us to quickly do an activity, right? And I want each and every one of us to share one word that describes how you want to be remembered. So when we all pass on, what is that one word you want to be remembered by, right? And I want us just to go, we'll do the same thing as we did with the introductions, where you say your word and then you pass it on to someone else, right? So I will start. My word that I want to be remembered by when I'm no longer around is alignment.
Okay.
Yeah. And I pass it on to Tuli.
What I want to leave behind when I'm no more there, strongly to my kids, I want to know them as a strong woman.
Strong woman with then a dash in the middle. Strong woman. Then it's one word.
Sorry?
No, I'm fine. I'm saying it's fine. Strong woman is fine.
Oh.
Good. Juliet?
Influential.
Influential. Excellent. Pass it on, please.
Stephanus, please.
Okay, hi guys. I actually sorry to do this, but I actually want to be remembered by three words, not one word, if it's possible. Yeah. So it's a trailblazer. It's a visionary, and there's a bridge builder.
Great.
So trailblazer, visionary, and the bridge builder.
Oh, bridge
A
builder.
unifier, a unifier.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm pushing this to color.
All right, my word would be resilient.
Resilient. Excellent.
I'm passing it to Evelyn.
My word would be impactful. Yes.
Excellent.
Let me pass it on to, I guess Alton is the only one left. Yes, Alton.
My word would be capable.
Capable.
Yes.
He'll probably come back and I'll give him this opportunity. So the reason we are doing this is when we are trying to establish our core values, right? I always like to start from they say it from the future. So you try and see where you want to be at the end of whichever period, and then you work your way backwards, right? So each of those words that each of you have mentioned, those are sort of those would be your foundations that you would work backwards from. And I want you to take note and then to write down those words because they are not mere words, but they would be words that will be guiding each and every one of your decision making going forward. And that's what we want to do once we establish the values that you would have in your life. So there's always a big fight between what are your values and then what are your needs, right? Your needs would most often be temporary. Your needs would always or most often be temporary, whereas your values would be more long term. Your values would be more long term. So a need might be a thing like I need to buy a new car, right? Buying a new car would be a need, whereas your value would be something like financial security. So the financial security is a long-term thing and it's a more permanent thing compared to your need, which is your short-term value. So when we set up our values, you would always know that whenever decisions are made, you would have to go with something that speaks to your long-term values. That's why alignment in itself is a very difficult concept to live out. And I want us already to know from the onset that if you have to align yourself to your values and your dreams and what you want to achieve in life, it's going to cost us. It's going to cost us in difficult decisions. So we would have to make decisions that are not popular, but you have to make them because of your values. For example, if I say I value my family, right, and family is a value for me, but then when I get an opportunity, for example, to travel out with work, but my family also has an activity where I need to be part of with my kids and with my wife. My values have to step in, and I need to take a decision based on my values, saying that because family is a value to me, I have to take that decision, and then the work trip, if it does not cost me being fired, then I can skip a work trip or an activity or an outing. So that's what we are trying to basically build with the values. Okay, so then how does one identify one's values? That's the big question. How do you then identify your values? How do you know this is what I stand for? there are a lot of activities that one can do, and within the alignment journal, there are some activities that you can follow also to help you with that. And we're going to do a guided reflection, just using some of those items we find in the alignment journal to help us to identify our values. And if you have a piece of paper, please, now is a good time to take it out, and then a pen, and so we can just do the next exercise quickly. And I want us to reflect on the following, right? I'll be giving you 3 points that I want you to reflect on. And I'll, as I speak, I'll give you time to reflect and then write as well. But I'll just be speaking nicely in the background. I will not be as fast as Juliet was claiming to be. So the first prompt that I want us to reflect on is, recall a moment when you felt most fulfilled. When was the time when you were fulfilled, when you felt like, yeah, now I'm fulfilled? What value was present in your life? Recall a moment when you felt fulfilled, and what value was present during that time where you just felt fulfilled with everything around you. The second point of reflection is to think of a time you regretted a decision. Think of a time when you regretted a decision you made. Which values or which value was compromised by that decision? Think of a time you regretted a decision you made. Which value was compromised? Yeah. And then finally, list 5 to 10 potential values that speak to who you are, your character. List 5 to 10 potential values that you think speak to who you are. Yeah. Are we struggling with values? We know our values by now. We are leadership. I think most of us are leaders where we are. You can ask, is money a value? You can ask, it's okay. Is power a value?
Edmund, can you just mention values, Peter, randomly?
I gave you a value. So one of my values is growth. Growth is a value to me. So I will do whatever it takes to ensure that I am in spaces where growth takes place, whether it's professional growth, whether it's in my personal life, or whether it's exploring something new, as long as growth is taking place in my life. So whenever I take decisions, I would like to find out, does this add to my value of growth? A friendship, be it a relationship, a professional relationship, even my own marriage, I try and find out, is the growth in it? So that's a possible value for myself. And other people have said money in the past, and it's fine. Money can be a value, that you make decisions based on money. So if someone offers you a job, how do you make that decision? Is it based on money, or is it maybe on something else? So on my end, I would look at money versus growth. And because my value is growth, I would see the organization that's offering these opportunities, is it giving me growth as well? Or is it just giving money? So that's how decisions are made based on my values. Are we good? Please don't steal my values. I thought that was a good joke, toch?
Ons het gelag. We are just muted. Ons het gelag. Sien jy nie ons gezicht? And the guys put on your faces. Edmund wants to see us laughing.
Okay. Are we done? Have we listed at least 5? Yeah. Just show me if you've listed at least 5 so we can continue. Yeah, good. So we are around, how many are we? 3, 6, 8, 9 with myself. I just want 3 people, just 3 people to share just to share, based on that reflection, I don't want to say share what, I just want you to share something based on that reflection. The 3 prompts that I gave you to reflect on, who can share?
I can set the tone, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the first prompt, which is fulfillment, the moment I felt the best fulfilled was when we completed the policy brief for the New Voices, New Narratives project that we were working on. It was a really challenging task for me personally, but also for the organization because it was everybody's first time drafting something like that. Yeah, I don't know what value came out there, but yeah. And then the second prompt where I regretted a decision, I don't recall where I regretted a decision at the moment because I've kind of been okay on that front. In terms of my values, I have 5: creativity, authenticity, accountability, adaptability, which is like my biggest value. I need to be able to adapt to different circumstances and things and spaces. And then commitment as well. Yeah.
It's good. That's good. That's good. Let me choose my brother Olsen to also give us his just feedback. You don't really need to go into specifics, but just, is it something that you already knew? You already have your values locked down?
May I share?
Yes, Juliet, go for it.
The first one, the real moment is when I graduated my bachelor's, and it was an achievement, success, completion, and making family and friends proud.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the second one, I don't really have much that I do regret, except that I would always go above and beyond doing something for people. So my loyalty and loving people makes me not see people for what they really are, and which has made me work on my boundaries and my self-worth. And then the last 5 points are security, purpose, God, my compassion, and integrity.
Excellent. That's good. Stephanus, can you share?
Okay, I think I'm gonna give it a try. A moment I felt most fulfilled would be when I help someone.
Yeah.
It's not just a moment, but moments. Because I think support and empathy or helpfulness is also one of my values. And a decision that I regret that compromised a value
Mm-hmm.
would maybe be prioritizing work over personal relationships
Yeah.
that could compromise my values like connection or loyalty towards a friend or a family member.
Yeah.
5 values that I'd say describe me is integrity, empathy, resilience, creativity, and authenticity, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like the authenticity part. My next book is called Dream Big, Start Small, Be Authentic. So authentic is something that really speaks to me. So what I want us to do then, just for 2 minutes now, is then to take those 5 to 10 values, right? And I want you to make a top 3. I want you to rank them, and then I want you to come up with top 3 of those, from those 5 to 10 values that you have created there. So from the 5, you check out. What you can also do is to see those that are probably similar. You put them. You can give them a joint name, or you can put one under the other, and then it becomes the same or not. And then you would sort of come up with your top 3 values. So while you are busy with that, I will just explain a little bit on why this is important, what we are doing. We are mostly all part of organizations, or we do work under or in a company, or in what is it, or a self-starter. Most of these companies, all of them have values that they stick by. So employees are then asked to then stick to these values that are given by the organization, and the organization makes decisions, financial and material decisions, based on their value. So we should also then use that same concept and say, I am the CEO of my life, right? And as the CEO of my life, Edmund Incorporated, or Edmund CC, that's my company. So my company should also have its own values so that I do not just get dragged in or pulled in or pushed into situations that do not speak to my values. That's why we need to identify and know what is that value that I'm known for, so that you take decisions for your own close cooperation, that empower or that improve or that make sure that you live out a purposeful life. That's basically the idea around this. And if we had longer sessions and more in-person sessions, we could do various other activities to really push on this. So the next point that I want to touch on really, and I want you to keep those top three values. We'll work on it tomorrow. We'll work with it tomorrow during the session, the final session. So the next one is limiting beliefs. And this is a big one because limiting beliefs is they call it a silent saboteur. It sabotages everything. These are limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs can be things like procrastination. They can be perfectionism, self-doubt, relationships that reinforces our negative self-beliefs. So we all grew up, most of us have grown up in societies or in areas where a lot of success does not really come out. And then there's a lot of negativity in those settings. And during those discussions in the streets with our friends and so forth, whenever you're trying to push an agenda of getting out of that situation you find yourself in, a lot of the friends would always tell you that no, you will not be able to make it. But no, that dream is too out there. No one from our country, no one from our community has ever done what it is that you are trying to do. So those are the self-beliefs. And whenever we find ourselves in difficult situations, we always then fall back to that comfort zone where people then say, yeah, I told you that you would not make it. Let's just do what we do normally in our settings. So those ones are dangerous. And those ones are the ones that will cause us to lose, or would cause us to fail in our attempt to grow this organization that you guys are trying to build, because we do not believe in ourselves. And those that believe in themselves, whenever it gets difficult, we fall back to our old habits. Old habits can be things like alcohol abuse. It can be overeating. It can be going back to, they call it toxic relationships. You fall back into those toxic relationships. All these are things that you go back to when you feel that you are in a difficulty, you are looking for comfort. So that's what really self sabotage is about. And I can freely share with you my dream and also myself sabotage to my personal dream. So in the introduction, I was introduced as a speaker, right? I have a dream to speak internationally. I have a dream to be a paid speaker, to do it full time. I don't want to work for anyone. I want to travel the world speaking, sharing my message, right? I have a dream of selling out a stadium that hosts 20,000 people that come to hear Edmund Khoaseb, the bearded speaker, speak. Not because MTC or whoever is having the event and I'm also on the list. No, an event where people are coming to hear me speak. So you must remember, in Namibia, we don't have a field or a stadium that can host 20,000 people at any given time. That means my dream is absolutely out of this world. First of all, for a Namibian black Tamara child, my mom does not understand what I'm trying to do. So people don't understand. So it's very easy for self-sabotage to fall into my life. And I start feeling that, no, man, I cannot do this. And then I fall back into the habit because I can easily go back to my comfort zone. I'm a trained communicator. I can get a cozy job and just go and do some admin or office work and get a nice, decent salary, and I can have a cozy life. But but my dream is not that. My purpose is not that. I've not been called to this earth to just earn a salary and go home. So my biggest self-sabotage is I am afraid of success. Oh my word. I'm so afraid of success that I do whatever. I just and I procrastinate everything. I just push back everything like, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And most of the times we run out of time. But that is something that I've now identified, that I'm really afraid of success. I'm one of those people, I'm not afraid of failing. Failing is good. I fall, I stand up, I fall, that's good. But my problem is always been in my mind, I'm like, yo, if I succeed, bruh, what will happen if I succeed? Just look at the numbers 20,000 people. If each person is paying $350 to come and see me, that easily makes me something like 7 million in one night. When I start thinking of those things, I start doing things that sabotage that dream. And finally, I'm trying to get a hold of that. So that's self sabotage. I hope I did not scare you too much.
No, it was good.
So
I could literally, sorry, I could literally hear Eslin's thoughts as you were speaking, because this is one of the stuff she always mentions in our meetings.
That's good. That's good. So let's do one more activity, and then I think that will be the end of it. You still have your pens, right? Your piece of paper. I see Tuli also found a pen finally. I must be doing something right. So I want you to write down one recurring negative belief. That negative belief that keeps on playing in your head about yourself. So for me, for example, when I was just starting out, I had an issue with my weight. I was like, people can't look at someone like me and get inspiration from someone that looks physically like me. So that has been something that was recurring. So a negative belief about yourself that you had, it's just write it down. Don't worry, these ones we will not share. Eh? These ones we will not share. These ones are your own. I just want you to note them down.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I want you to identify where it came from. Where does this negative thought come from? Some of the negative thoughts do come from our childhood, right? Where we grow up, our parents, our friends telling us that, no, man, you are, like in my case, it was the physical appearance thing, like, bruh, you're fat, you're fat. Sometimes when I go on stage, I sweat a lot and I then judge myself harshly. There were times on TV I sweat and then I judge myself harshly, and then this thought gets recurring and recurring and re-established in my life. That when I'm a certain weight, I cannot speak in front of people. So yeah. So try and identify that negative thought. Where does it come from? And then finally, I want you to reframe that negative thought. Those negative beliefs that you have about yourself, I want you to reframe them. So instead of saying, I'm not good enough, I want you to say, I'm capable of learning and improving. For me, it has always been that. So at the moment, I don't suffer with that anymore. My self-image is not an issue anymore. But I needed to tell myself that a lot. I needed to say that, guy, you are handsome. Guy, you are the way that the Lord has made you. So I had to bring that confidence into my life, that now I really do not care. But for some reason, my body has decided also to play along with these positive thoughts. And now at least the weight situation looks very good on my end. So I want you to reframe some of those thoughts that you had that were negative about yourself. Yeah. Okay. Now, just for
Yes.
just for 3 minutes, I don't want you to read. If you want to read out your refrain sentence, it's fine. But if you don't want to, I just want you to reflect on it for me. That exercise, just give me a reflection on, you can even say, Edward, these things don't work for me. I'm just good. But I just want a little bit of feedback on that. Does it make you think about things that you probably never thought of? Just general feedback on it. But if you want to read your refrain sentence, I would also appreciate that. Kennedy, are you back?
Edmund, stop harassing Kennedy. He's in the library.
Oh, sorry.
You must harass Olsen. He's back.
I did not pick that up. Olsen, it's not me.
Sorry, I missed quite a few minutes. What are we reflecting on?
We are reflecting on. So what I wanted you to do is then to identify as a negative self-belief about yourself and just note it down. Just one negative self-belief that you had about yourself, and then you note it down. Secondly, then, or finally, there was something in between, but finally, I wanted you then to reframe that negative thought into a positive. So, for example, you would say, I don't think I'm good enough to achieve my dreams. But then you would reframe it and say, I think I'm capable of learning and growing in order to achieve my dreams. So that's the activity that we were doing. If you're still reflecting, I can ask Tuli to quickly jump in and give us some reflection.
Okay, yeah, I can go after Tuli.
Okay.
The negative belief, I used to doubt myself. Whenever I'm entering the offices of the companies where I have to engage to the managers, then I used to feel like, is it me? Really, can I do this? And the way the people are looking to me and they're asking me, who is the owner of the company? And I'm used to say, it's me. But then they used to look me from the head to the toe, looking me like, and then when I'm going out of those offices, I'm feeling like, but maybe am I really doing the correct thing or so on? But since today, I got more power, and I am telling myself, yes, I can do it.
Yes. Excellent. Anyone else?
Is Kennedy not ready?
Kennedy is in the library.
No.
His library. Okay, no, it's fine. Anyone can jump in.
Okay, let me try. I think one of the negative thoughts that, the major one that I have is public speaking. And I think with practice and with time, I'll get better in terms of public speaking.
Excellent.
So I need to give myself the time and the patience, and also just practice public speaking, and over time I'll become much better.
Yeah. So one of my other side hustles is that I'm a public speaking coach, so you can always engage me.
Then you got yourself a client right here.
Excellent. So public speaking is one of the biggest phobias in the world. Everybody is scared of public speaking, but we overcome it's one of those things you just overcome by doing. So what we need to do next is really just to wrap up what we have really been doing, and then I'll give you homework, and then I think I will call it quits and then hand back over to Ingrid. So what we need to understand is that In order for us to live out, to be authentic leaders, right, in the fields that we are in, it's really built on our values. Yeah, it's built on our values plus our beliefs, and then how we live these beliefs out and values out daily, right? So what we have done in this short session is that we have tried to identify our values, right? Everybody has those top 3 values now. And we try to identify negative beliefs and also to reframe them into a positive mindset. And now what we then need to do is, in order to be authentic leaders, we need to live out what we believe in and then what we value on a daily basis. So we need to take decisions on a daily basis based on our values. I'm unsure, Eslin, what your organization's values are or your value statement is. But I guess you would then require each and everyone that is part of the organization to also live out those values, right? As the founder of the organization. And that's also the same way that as individuals, we should also live out our values. I can't be here preaching alignment and my life is all over the place. You know, I need to try and live a life that's aligned to what I'm trying to do. I can't be saying that I want to speak internationally, but I am refusing to speak to a small audience daily. You know, these things need to speak to each other, and that's what I want us to take home today. That the values we have identified are very important, and then how you believe in what you want to achieve, your beliefs is equally important. But these two can only work if you live it out on a daily basis. Like every day, you should try and live out these things that you're preaching. And then, in conclusion, real alignment, right? I'll give you a formula. In order for you to reach alignment, you have to have beliefs or positive beliefs, values plus action. So the formula is values plus beliefs plus action equals to alignment. Values, beliefs plus action equals to alignment. And that's really what I want us to take away today. If you really want to align to your individual personal dream as an individual, if you want to align to reaching it, you need to check your values, your beliefs, and then you need to live it out daily. As an organization, and I see that there are directors here, as an organization, you also need to live those values out that the organization stands for. The organization, for example, probably stands for integrity, but then the directors are involved in corrupt activities. The two don't mix, right? So whatever the organization's values are, we should be able to leave them out through the directors first before we even trickle down to staff members and then volunteers or beneficiaries or stakeholders and so forth. First, it's us that need to ensure that we leave this out. Homework. So I want you today, for the rest of the day, to, and this you'll give me an answer tomorrow. So you will write this. Today, I will practice alignment by ... Today, I will practice alignment by ... or 3 dots actually, ... 3. So the homework is to complete that sentence for me and say that today I will practice alignment by, I don't know what you will say there. And that's me. Thank you so much. We will continue on tomorrow with the 2-hour principle. We will do self-care, and then we'll do impactful leadership in rural communities, as well as some time management. I think we'll do an audit on our time management as well tomorrow. That's me. Thank you so much for inviting me. And allowing yourselves to hear my crazy thoughts on life. Thank you, Ingrid.
Thank you, Mr. Edmund. Anyone that wants to say something or comment? Miss Eslin?
Thank you, Ingrid. I wanted to take the moment to thank Edmund for hosting our third session. And for tomorrow's session, I will have a question that I want to pose now so that you're able to, answer it in your session as well. So a lot of what we spoke about today is really beneficial, especially for our rural youth, which Rural Rise really focuses on working with young people in rural areas, right? I'm just a bit sad that they are unable to join, for example, a session like this, because I feel like they would have benefited a lot on figuring out how maybe their next move in life or figuring out something else that they really wanted to tackle or something like that. But of course, like you mentioned, I'm looking forward to the opportunity that perhaps one day we could take you to the rural communities with one of our workshops, and then you can lead a similar session with them as well. For tomorrow's session, I would really like for you to capture how can a young person in a rural community maneuver their thinking, the way that they're going to sort of understand themselves, understand their community, understand what they want in their life, and move in a purposeful direction, if that makes sense.